on WLIW 21.
Warship. Technology and history converge at sea.
For the first time, naval history, two ironclads engaged.
Awesome weapons.
This is the ship of the future, and we are going to build it.
Radical innovations.
Ely would fly off of this deck and then back to shore in order to demonstrate that it was possible to fly off a ship.
Power and conflict on the high seas. Warship.
Monday on WLIW 21.
This is WLIW 21, New York. Member-supported public television.
Less than 100 miles off Florida's coast is an island with the largest collection of classic American cars in the world. In today's Cuba, tens of thousands of pre-60s automobiles take to the streets every day. Ford, Chevys, Buicks, Lincolns, Olds, and Cadillacs, all here, marooned in time. Legacy of the days when Cuba was America's playground. This is the story of 2 days and a night in Cuba's ongoing love affair with American cars. A celebration of Detroit's golden age. In 21st century Cuba, it's the 50s once again.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Dawn on the empty highway. A friendly challenge between a 55 Ford Crown Victoria and a 57 Chevy Bel Air. In Castro's Cuba, such races are illegal. But just as in 50s America, young men don't care.
I got a hot rod Ford and a dual exhaust 4-bar carburetor. I can't get lost. I pulled it in a low double clutch it twice. I hear the cats holler, man alive. All night long, let's go home. Drag your main to the break of dawn. Drag your main street all night long.
Arriba, ponle. Arriba, ponle, que lo voy a pasar por arriba, Arriba, te estoy esperando.
We'll all get together about 9:30. We'll all line up side by side. When we get signal, we throw it in low. And everybody holler, go man, go. Drag your main to the break of dawn. Drag your Main Street all night long.
This car belonged to his father and his grandfather before that. In an embargoed nation, old American cars are heirlooms, loved, cherished, handed down from generation to generation, and still in constant use. The winner's Ronaldo. His father, Tito, is one of Cuba's top mechanics. Cuba's long-standing love affair with America is most visible in Havana, in front of the Capitol, built in the 1920s, copied from the American original. Here, gather a mongrel sampling of every car that rolled off Detroit's assembly line, driving set routes just like buses. Some are battered, some pristine, but all greatly loved. Their drivers, the cowboys of the streets. When not arguing about baseball, peso taxi drivers argue about cars, each insisting his Ford, Buick, or Chevy is the best American car ever made. The aristocrat among peso taxis is this 56 Cadillac Series 75 Fleetwood sedan. Julio just calls it the Green Machine. And by 8 a.m., he's already at work, one of 1,000 peso taxi drivers in Havana.
Friends, cab drivers, We have a lot of friends, and we help each other. If you need if you had a flat tire, I can give you one. I give you one. So if you need a spare plug, you give me one, and that's it. We help each other.
The green machine's a gas guzzler, and government-licensed gas is expensive at the pumps. Most drivers, like Julio, carry their own supply. With gas theft common, a backstreet fill-up means constant vigilance.
This car belongs to my father, first of all. And since I was a young boy, I was driving with him all the time. And now I'm driving it. And you have fun also with the population, the people. Anyone, tourists, make the magic sign, like this. Or show me the pesos.
I saw my baby just the other day in a big green car on the white highway. I saw my baby with another man. I got a big man, really quite a thing. I saw my baby, yeah, my pretty baby. I saw my baby in a big green car on the white highway.
The fare's 10 pesos, less than 50 cents. Passengers get picked up and dropped off anywhere along Julio's 10-mile route. Traveling Havana's streets in the big green car is to experience again the time warp that is Cuba. Buildings unchanged from the revolution, and pre-1960 American cars are everywhere. For tens of thousands of American car enthusiasts in Cuba, the Detroit Originals are their most treasured possessions. The Lopez family even keep their '55 Chevy 150 in the living room. Its health the subject of constant concern, just like any other elderly family member.
¿Qué pasó? Pero ese acumulador no te lo vendió Peter por lo bajo. Tiene que comprar acumuladores soviéticos. Me quedé botado en infarto. Cosa más grande,
By mid-morning, 30 of the best preserved American cars gather for a two-day rally across the island to Trinidad, a beautiful town on the south coast. Members of the Automobile Club of Havana meet every month, one of many classic car clubs in Cuba. Today's a special event. 500 miles there and back, the farthest many of these cars have driven in decades. Leading the rally is a 1940 Chevy, followed by a '39 Ford Deluxe Coupe. The road ahead will be a test for all the cars, and the '49 Dodge Coronet is already in trouble.
Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride, my dear. I want a septic feel so good right in the sea. Go with me for a ride, for a ride. Ooh, warm and comfortable, I bought it just for you. Won't you come and sit right down, enjoy its comfort too. Let's go for a ride, my dear. The night is warm and clear. Won't you come and sit right here? Go with me for a ride, for a ride.
After a lap of honor down Havana's seafront, the rally hits the main highway out of town.
My car is warm and comfortable, I bought it just for you. Won't you come and sit right down and enjoy its comfort too? Let's go for a ride, my sweetie. I want a septic feet, so come right in the sea. Go with me for a ride, for a ride. Well, let's go for a ride, yeah, let's go for a ride, yeah, let's go for a ride, yeah.
This car first belonged to my grandfather, but after he died, my father kept the car, and after my father, I have the car, and I hope that my son wants to drive this car and to keep it like me. It's part of you, it's part of your feelings, it's part of your family.
All of these cars have exceeded their design life by decades, and breakdowns are expected on the rally. Next to run into trouble is the 56 Ford Fairlane with an overheated engine. A little roadside first aid, and it'll be back in the rally. Car trouble is just as common on the streets of Havana.
I think the people love those cars because still running after 40, 50 years is incredible. And you have to make a lot of effort to keep it running. It's really hard because we have no parts here. So we have to make up ourselves. There is no brake fluids here. So we have to make with shampoo and oil and a little mixture of soap. And it works.
Every driver must be his own mechanic, and Cuba's most common workshop is the streets. Private mechanics operate on the edge of Cuban law. Entrepreneurs working out of backyard workshops scattered through Havana and Cuba's other cities. Tito, father of the morning's drag race winner, is one of the best. A miracle worker whose magic touch has kept thousands of American classics running decades longer than their Detroit builders ever dreamed.
The majority of these cars are running because they have adaptations from other cars. Maybe they have a Chevy engine, but the pistons might be Russian, from a car like the Volga. And a lot of them have other gearboxes, or different back seats, or differentials. But they're still running. American cars are still running.
In the garage his father built, Tito carries on a family tradition.
My father loved everything about these vehicles, mechanics, all that tradition. We've all followed the same tradition, both me and my sons. When you have a father like I did, their grandfather, I think not a day goes by when you don't think of him at some moment. And when I get under a car with my son, it seems like before. It's like a tape that was rewound, you know. Instead of Reynaldo, my son, under the car with me, it's like I'm still under the car with my dad. Since he was your father, these are moments you cannot forget.
Classic cars from the 50s and the skill to keep them running, now passed on to a new generation. A tropical beach, old cars with their tops down, beautiful girls, and the promise of romance. Another flashback to the 50s, and a Cuban lifestyle marooned in time.
Let me tell you about my girl. She likes to ride cars. Whoa, my girl. She likes to ride cars. She likes to, yeah, and any old thing that's on. That's my girl. She likes to ride cars. Oh, my girl. She likes to ride cars. She likes to ride.
Guys today, like their 50s counterparts, often lavish more loving care on their cars than they do on their girlfriends. A 58 Edsel Pacer convertible calls for special devotion.
She likes to ride. Oh, let's slide. She likes to ride.
For Shira and her friends, trips to the beach in 50s convertibles that often break down are as much a part of everyday life as the 50s style cabaret where they all work together as showgirls. Some of the showiest cars in Cuba have now been on the road for 5 hours, strutting their stuff as they leave the main highway for smaller country roads.
Oh, baby, you heard about the car I've got. Girl, you ought to see it wheeling around. It's a real fine car and it's never late. Babe, I'm talking about my new Ford V8. We gonna move on down, all about in that town.
Arriving in Cienfuegos, a town on Cuba's south coast, the rally drivers have another chance to show off their prized possessions as they drag Main Street. They're already more than halfway to their evening destination. Close by, a 53 Hudson Hornet pulls into a backstreet workshop that attracts classic car owners like bees to honey. The salt air of the Caribbean nation is especially hard on 50s chrome. Here, grills, bumpers, and tailpipes are exactly recreated from 50s patterns. Other workshops recreate hood ornaments and 50s windshields. Like the mechanics, many of these entrepreneurs operate without official license, but every classic car enthusiast knows who and where they are. A tailpipe for a 56 Buick, handcrafted, perfect in every detail. '50s American cars mark so many rites of passage in Cuban life: dating, romance, and especially marriage. Every Cuban couple dreams of such a wedding car. And on the streets, Cuban musicians celebrate classic American music in their own unique style. Sunset on the Malecon, Havana's famous seafront promenade.
Boat up, boat ahead, baby. Oh, yeah.
Shira and her showgirl friends return to work after a day at the beach.
If you don't have transportation, yeah, she treats you wrong.
Havana's Hotel Nacional was one of the great gambling hotels in the 50s, host to gangsters like Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky. Even the cars still evoke its mafia past. Havana's cabarets added an exotic allure to America's tropical playground. For audiences today, they recapture the romance and forbidden pleasures of the 50s. For the showgirls, it's just another night's work. In the 50s, courting couples went parking to watch the sun set over Havana Bay. They still do. Ronaldo, master mechanic Tito's son, brings his girl to the same place his father did a generation ago, and in the same car, a '53 Chevy Bel Air. At the Cabaret Parisien, romance wears a different face. Havana has always been a city of the night. It was much of the attraction to Americans who flocked down by the thousands during the 1950s. At dusk, the city slips backwards in time, its crumbling facades veiled in darkness, its streets full of American cars carrying office workers home, while its 50s-style cabarets prepare for a night of romance, nostalgia, and Latin rhythm. And 250 miles southeast of Havana, cars and drivers from the Automobile Club slip further back into the past. Arriving in the main plaza of Trinidad, Cuba's best preserved Spanish colonial town. They'll spend the night and head back in the morning. the cars have made it through the first day.
Wow, what a program. Did you see that red Edsel going down the Malecone and those other wonderful old 40s, 50s, and 60s automobiles? Classic American cars in Cuba. Nostalgia, that brings a lot back, doesn't it? I'm Terrell Cass with Laura Savini. We've got a great evening for you. And there's a second half of this show coming up. If you like the first half, the second half, the producer tells me, is even better, so stick around. But you know, in the meantime, we ask you to call us at that telephone number that you see on your screen. Support your public television station. Support this station that helped bring this program to you on Classic American Cars. You don't see this kind of a program anywhere else, but right here on your station, and it has to be supported. It's very expensive to produce a program like this. Now, if you could contribute at the $75 level to your station by calling that number, call the phone right now. The operators are waiting for you. We'll send you out a VHS copy of this program. It has additional material on it, and you can't get this anywhere else. $75 contribution, and this is your thank you gift. And Laura and I have some other thank you gifts that we're excited about right here on the table in front of us, Laura. Look at these beautiful automobiles. I'll have to get them up there where you can see them. For a $250 contribution, $250 contribution, we have this beautiful Cadillac. Look at that red, gorgeous Cadillac.
Gorgeous.
You like that, Laura?
And you know what I like about it? The doors open, the hood, the trunk. You can even see the engine in here. This is a real collectible.
See if we,
look at that.
We're going to be talking more about this in just a minute. Look at that engine.
Beautiful.
That's the Cadillac. And then we talked about Edsels.
Yes.
58 Edsel. Look at that.
I've never actually seen one.
There's Laura's trunk there.
I wouldn't mind driving one of these babies. That's a beautiful
If you
car.
could call in a $250 contribution to your station, we will take the money. We will make other programs like this, and you, of course, will get this as a thank you gift. Now, Laura, you got that hood open a while ago, and I couldn't.
Look at that.
Laura's
opposite.
special. this is die cast.
Die-cast
metal, heavy duty. What a car!
And it's actually a 1:24 ratio. Collectors like to know that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then we have the Gem. This is my favorite, the 55 Chevrolet. Look at that beauty.
Oh,
and the
that's
doors,
gorgeous.
the doors
Look at
open there.
this.
We'll have to. It even has, Laura's playing with the tire there, and the. Laura, you're going to have to open the trunk again. It takes longer nails than I have.
Beautiful. And I love, you can even see the dashboards on these. They're really, all the detail is there for you.
It's a gorgeous car. And again, that's with a $250 contribution. Tell us about some of the other things.
Well, we have got a CD set, if you can join us at the level of $200. And all the music you heard on the program is included on that CD set. And in that 4 CD set, you're also going to be getting a pair of fuzzy dice. Every car needs them. And you'll be hearing songs like Hot Rod Gang, Motorhead Baby, Drag Race, and many, many others. That's at the $200 levels. Now take a look at these other thank you gifts.
When you join us with your pledge during Classic American Cars of Cuba at the $75 level, we will say thank you with the VHS of the program, along with bonus footage you won't see in the broadcast. Join us with a $200 pledge, and you'll receive as a thank you gift this 4 CD set. Hot rods and custom classics, cruisin' songs and highway hits. This 87-track collection spans 1946 to 98 and includes rarities and sound bites from vintage drive-in movies, TV, and radio. Receive both the VHS of the program and the 4 CD box set with your membership at the $225 level. Join us with a $250 pledge and choose one of these collectible scaled modeled Franklin Mint cars. Made of die-cast metal, these were 3 of the hottest cars of the 1950s. You have your choice of this 1953 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, this 1958 Edsel Citation convertible, or this 1955 Chevy Bel Air sedan. Remember, public television depends on your support, and that support makes programs like this possible. Thank you.
Well, along with these beautiful cars, we have Rick Schnitzler with us. Rick is with the Antique Automobile Club of America, and you've also got a special connection with Cuba, don't you, Rick?
Yes, I'm the lead organizer of the Taillight Diplomacy Initiative of the U.S.-Cuba Sister City Association.
Good. Well, tell us about this. You like this special 55 Chevrolet. You were doting on it a while ago. Tell us a little bit about this beauty.
Well, the 55 Chevrolet is perhaps one of the most popular cars ever built in the United States, and there's a good reason. It really exemplifies some of the very best manufacturing practices and design skills that have ever been applied, and aside from quality. And the other part about it that I like is that it's just a pretty car to look at. It makes you feel good.
Is this a very good replica of it?
The quality of that model and the other ones is as good as is available, number one. And number two, it would satisfy virtually any member of the Antique Automobile Club of America.
That's quite an endorsement.
Beautiful. Well, Rick, tell us about, you were talking about this chrome in here earlier.
Yeah, this particular model has many of the very rare accessories. Perhaps the rarest one is the rocker panel molding underneath here, extending up to the front fender. On the back, something I remember when I was a kid was these little chrome L-shaped covers adjacent to the gas door where you put the gas in the car. And they always seem to be a point of pride for some reason or other, which still escapes me. The tire in the back is a throwback to cars of the 30s and 20s. It's called a Continental kit, still is, I believe, and it was intended to provide a Continental flair.
Great. Well, if you'll call in a contribution to this station right here at the $250 level, that wonderful little gem could be yours. Rick, tell us about this. Everybody's captivated by this thing.
The Edsel represents the polar opposite to the 55 Chevrolet in terms of the design concept. To this day, nobody really quite understands why the car was designed the way it is, and there's relatively few people have ever considered the car handsome. Some of the reasons for that are the oval-shaped grille.
Yeah, that is a very unique design to it. And I want to remind everyone that we're not just here talking about the cars, but think about the creativity that public television has put together a program like this to allow you the opportunity to see these old cars being used. That's what amazes me. They're not just collectibles. You're seeing them used in daily life in Cuba, and it really is an amazing thing. I am getting such a kick out of this show. So we hope that you will call us and make a pledge of support here to this station. You know, we have another thank you gift for you, the painting. Now, when you were in Cuba, you saw these paintings, didn't you? They are
we saw them
fabulous.
all over the markets there.
Well,
they were everywhere.
That's at the $175 level. We're going to send you this beautiful painting. It's a piece of Cuban folk art. This is original. It'll be signed. It'll be made for you. And what you see on there is the 57 Chevy Bel Air. How's that? I knew what car that was.
Rick, one sentence, two sentences about this car.
The 57 Chevy Bel Air is one of the most popular family cars in the during the 50s, and again, 45 years later, 57 Chevrolets pretty much reign supreme among affections of Americans for any car.
Good. Well, there you have it. You have these three cars that are models at the $250 contribution level or the painting. Make your call now.
When you join us with your pledge during Classic American Cars of Cuba at the $75 level, we will say thank you with the VHS of the program, along with bonus footage you won't see in the broadcast. Join us with a $200 pledge, and you'll receive as a thank you gift this 4-CD set, Hot Rods and Custom Classics, Cruisin' Songs and Highway Hits. This 87-track collection spans 1946 to 98 and includes rarities and sound bites from vintage drive-in movies, TV, and radio. Receive both the VHS of the program and the 4-CD box set with your membership at the $225 level. Join us with a $250 pledge and choose one of these collectible scaled modeled Franklin Mint cars. Made of die-cast metal, these were 3 of the hottest cars of the 1950s. You have your choice of this 1953 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, this 1958 Edsel Citation convertible, or this 1955 Chevy Bel Air sedan. Remember, public television depends on your support, and that support makes programs like this possible. Thank you.
I'm with Leo Eaton, and Leo's a special guy. He was down there in Cuba. In fact, I went down there and visited him, and he shot this program. Leo, you did a magnificent job.
Thank
it's beautiful.
you,
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It was a lot of fun to do it.
Tell me the best part about this.
You know, the best part was the enthusiasm that all of these people have down here for these old cars. They love them. I mean, it's amazing. The mechanics, the people in the street. When we were shooting the rally, everywhere we went, the people would come out to look at them, and they'd all talk about, oh, we love these cars. It's neat. It's wonderful.
It is, and I saw all of that down there. You know, most people, though, they don't know how much work goes into a program like this. Just that scene with Shira at the beach that we just saw, that took a couple of days, didn't it?
Day shooting. A day shooting and then a day to get them back.
And Leo is a perfectionist. He's really done quite a job on this, and it was beautiful down there. And then that's, of course, where your contribution goes when you contribute to public television. You enable people like Leo Eaton to exhibit his craft, and he is one of the best, and he's really done a wonderful job on this. And your contribution to this station right now will help us make more shows. And send Leo somewhere else next time. What's your favorite car that you saw down there, Leo?
Well, after what Rick said, I have to say I loved the Edsel.
Did you really?
The Edsel was amazing. I mean, you know, I'm from England, and I'd never seen these things on the street. And I think they're beautiful.
There's so many Edsels down there.
Well, you know what they say. They didn't work in America, so they shipped them all down to Cuba.
Yeah,
but they're lovely cars. They're amazing cars. They're really beautiful.
Terrific job, Leo. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thanks to PBS for doing this sort
Great.
of show.
And you made this possible. You made this program and all of the others that you watch on this station. Call that telephone number. Laura, can you? We have not talked about the music, and Leo picked out all the music that's came out of this.
Well, that worked out really well because there are some fabulous songs in the show that are also included in this 4-CD set. And in addition to the CDs in here, you're also getting a 64-page book that includes all these wonderful essays and a glossary of hot rod cars and classic cars, the pair of fuzzy dice, a special keychain and window decals. It's all in there. And you're hearing music from 1946 all the way to 1998. Chuck Berry, Pure Prairie League, Nelson Riddle, Rod Stewart, everybody is in here doing some of the best car music that has ever been written, and it really is a lot of fun to listen to this.
Absolutely. And Leo did such a great job of weaving all that music into the program, didn't he?
That's what made it so much fun to watch this program, because you're seeing this incredible folkloric quality of these old American cars in Cuba, and at the same time it's with American music. It really is interesting.
Make your contribution, and the great thank you gifts will come your way. Laura, our phones are just off the hook tonight. We think that's fabulous. This great 55 Chevrolet comes out to you with a contribution of $250 or more. We will take your $250, we'll put it back into programs that will come onto your screen, and then you'll get this delightful thank you gift. What a great little car this 55 Chevrolet is. I love it.
Did you ever have one of those?
No, I didn't, but I had a 57 Chevrolet. Like that's in that painting, or my father did. I thought it was mine, but my father had it, and then he let me drive it once in a while. This 55 is a good one. I don't have to had a 57 Ford. Boy, I remember that one. That was a lot slower, though, than the 57 Chevrolet. I remember they all beat me with that.
Well, this must have been so exciting for you to see these cars back in life in this show.
Everybody else. And then we haven't talked much about this great 53 Cadillac.
Oh, I love that color.
Rick Schnitzler was here with us earlier. He'll be back in a minute, and he's going to tell us more about this automobile. But what great models these are. They are really hefty. They are die-cast metal.
1 to 24 ratio for you collectors.
Everything works. If you have long enough fingernails to get the trunks open, they work. And the dashboards and the steering wheels. And don't forget, we also have the video on this.
Yes, and the videotape of the program you can't get anywhere else but right here on this station. And there's extra footage on here, so you're going to see more of those cars. Because if you're like me, I was watching the show, I was like, oh, it's over. I want to see more of these cars. And you will, because there's extra footage on here. I've heard my dad always talking about these wonderful cars, and this was just a real treasure to be able to see them all actually being driven. And like we said, it really is part of the folklore of that country. I bet they're always going to keep these cars another 50 years.
Well, we hope so, and we see the mechanic talking about that later on. Great section coming up, the last part of the program, and it's terrific. See it as a member of this station. Now, we've been talking a lot about these thank you gifts, and we've been telling you what you can get, but you know the big thing you get, I think you know what it is. The big thing you get is public television, and that is invaluable. So the more you contribute, the more you call this telephone number and pledge your money to this process, the better job we can do for you. This is your television station. Take advantage of it. Your children watch it, your grandchildren watch it with all those programs. I don't know how many times you probably watch it, and you will never see a program like this anywhere else. If you like it, let us hear from you. Call that telephone number and contribute as much as you possibly can. We need to hear from you right now. Get one of these great thank you gifts.
By 10 p.m., the cabarets are underway. Swirls of vibrant color, Latin rhythm, and exotic glamour. In 1950s Cuba, such cabarets were the heart of the night, where showgirls just like Shira sang of love and a promise of tropical romance. Away from the glamour of Shira's world, the old American cars are still at work. Julio drives Havana's darkened streets in the green machine. There are still passengers who need rides and pesos to be earned.
Every night the city wakes up. For me, it's the very time of the day, because the Cubans are creatures of the night.
No rest for Cuba's mechanics either, as Tito and his sons work through the hours of darkness. It takes constant care and endless effort to keep the world's largest collection of American classic cars running. Early morning in Trinidad, the most beautiful town in Cuba. The 30 cars that arrived here last night now wait for their drivers. They are the focus of everyone's attention. At 8 o'clock, the drivers arrive. Ahead is another 250 miles across the island before returning to end-of-rally celebrations back home in Havana.
misma marca, Chevrolet, por adelante y por atrás.
Cubans love a good argument as much as anything in the world. Julio must daily defend the honor of his Cadillac against hordes of Ford, Chevy, and Buick drivers. He says they're just jealous.
¿Qué tú dices? ¿Qué tú estás hablando? Esto es lo mejor que hay aquí, chicos. Esto es lo mejor que hay aquí. Esto fue lo que más caro se vendió aquí. Oye, yo nací arriba de esto, compadre. Usted no sabe lo que está diciendo. ¿Qué cosa? Eso no sirve, chicos. Está loco. Está loco, loco. Esto camina su lobo. 40 años. We are always arguing about there with the other drivers about the Ford, Chevrolet, and I said, no way. The Cadillac is the best one. My Cadillac is the best one. Eso pues está nuevo. Esto está nuevo. Nuevo. Mira la línea que tiene el carro ese.
By noon, the rally's well on its way back to Havana, and most of the cars are still making good time.
I prefer this type of car because they're stronger, more long-lasting, and more powerful. It's over 50 years old and it's still in great shape. A new car, no matter how well you take care of it, would never last that long. 50, 60, 70 years without breaking down. Especially the way the roads are.
Cuba is the ultimate survival test for cars well into their second-half century. Potholes, cobbled village streets, even dusty dirt roads. And Cuba's roads continue to take their toll.
You say you failed, but it don't look like you gonna last. Goodbye. I got to put you down. I'll see you someday, baby, somewhere hanging around.
In a small village along the rally route, Manolo and his family are rebuilding a 1957 Chrysler Saratoga from the ground up. Anywhere else, it would have been sold for scrap long ago. Its bodywork rusted through from the salt air. In Cuba, it's taking on a new lease on life, though hardly as its Detroit builders intended.
This car was in really bad shape. It was bought 2 years ago and it was in critical condition. Starting with the floor, we put a new floor in it. And all these panels are new, totally new. Our body workman made the door from scratch. The panels are new. The door's new. And so is the floor. All this is new. The only original thing is the top part of the roof that remains. And this little part here. Everything else is new, even the lining of the trunk, where the spare tire goes. Everything that's painted gray is new. The other part that is blue is original, what's left of it. We had to get rid of a lot of the old parts.
The windshield was made in Cienfuegos. The body panels created from steel, salvaged from an old Russian water tank.
The motor is an adapted penking. We took the V8 motor out and put in a penking 10 with 4 cylinders. I believe these motors come from forklifts. It's my nephew's car, this child's father. He'll inherit it in the future.
Many classic car owners frown on such total restoration with non-standard parts. And master mechanics like Tito try to use correct original or copied parts where possible. However, they'll improvise if it's the only way to keep the old cars running. Tito's whole extended family is in the business. His cousin runs one of the best body shops in Havana from his backyard. When finished, this '58 Chevy will be as good as new. At their best, Cuba's restored American classic cars look as though they've just come straight from the showroom floor. Even the Green Machine's paint job is showroom standard, though its engine needs a little work. Havana's outdoor market is mainly for tourists, a regular stop on Julio's route. The Street of Paintings offers something for every taste. And the Cuban passion for old American cars is clear. Car pictures are everywhere, a selection of every make and model seen on Havana's streets.
That's my car. It's amazing. It's a real surprise for me. Beautiful. What a beautiful picture. It's great. Fantastic.
Would you like to go riding in my Billy 59?
Late afternoon on the second day, and 29 of the original 30 cars from the Automobile Club of Havana have made it home.
Well, I'm telling you, people, that the riding's mighty fine. Got an 8-cylinder motor and a jet propelled overdrive. Got an 8-cylinder motor and a jet propelled overdrive.
They've driven more than 500 miles in less than 2 days and are in the mood to celebrate. Although their victory lap does back up traffic around the old city. In front of the Capitol, the cars receive an enthusiastic welcome.
Don't be mad at me, boys, if your bucket don't ride like mine. Don't be mad.
Many other American classic car enthusiasts turn out to welcome them home.
You ought to buy yourself.
Even Julio, who's made it through the traffic. And now it's time for a fiesta. With so many Detroit originals on the streets, Cuba can rightly claim the title American Classic Car Capital of the World. As we've seen, these aren't museum pieces, but living, working automobiles. Ready, if Master Mechanic Tito has anything to do with it, to last another 50 years.
The decade of the 50s was the automobile's best decade, especially for American cars. They've got a pleasing style, a style that makes a lasting impression, a style that is beautiful. That's why not just Cubans, but people all over the world love these American cars from the 50s.
Was that fun or was that fun? Boy, I can't think of another show that's been more fun than this one. If you think so, call that telephone number that you see on your screen right there, Classic American Cars in Cuba. And it's all right here on this video. If you'll call right now, call your station, support this station that brought this program to you. We'll turn around and put this money into other programs just like it. This is your thank you gift if you will call at the $75 level. And if you will do that now, then you will get this tape, and it will be coming out to you soon with the wonderful show that you've just watched. Plus, there's a lot more material on that tape that you have not seen tonight. So if you love those cars and if you had fun with all this, then jump in and be a part of that. Think about somebody, too, that loves 50s, 60s, and some 40s automobiles there that would like that as a gift. Wouldn't that be great? Well, you can give yourself a gift, too, because you're contributing to your television station. You're making the programs that you watch much better. Hi, I'm Terrell Cass. We're so excited about this program, and I'm with Laura Savini tonight. And Laura, we've had fun with all these cars. And
we sure have. This program is just ideal for any car buff. Did you know 1 in 3 cars in Cuba are pre-1960 American made? So this is really a great place. That's why this was our tableau of where we shot the program, where you're going to find all these terrific cars. I think it was a very creative idea.
Absolutely. Cuba's the living museum. That's why we went down there and shot this. Cuba's the living museum of cars. And let me briefly mention that if you can pledge, if you can contribute to this station at the $250 level, then these 3 cars that you see in front of us on the table here, there's the Edsel, and then you come across and we have that wonderful, my favorite, the 55 Chevrolet. Look at that Jim Daddy.
I love it.
And with its hood up, it's not broken, I promise you. It's just got its hood up to show you we're not working on that engine, is our 53 Cadillac Eldorado. And Rick Schnitzler is with us. Rick is with the Antiques
Automobile Club of America.
Automobile Club of America, if I can get that straight.
Yeah.
Rick, we didn't talk very much last time about this Eldorado. Can you talk about this automobile?
Sure. It's a real easy car to talk about because it's so significant in the history of the automobile and the history of popular culture in the United States. The 53 Eldorado, of which they only made a little more than 500, is perhaps the sexiest car that was made in the 50s.
Boy, it looks it, especially when it's red like this.
Doesn't take a lot of imagination to associate with these curves, and this car has the famous Cadillac tail fins, which were trademark of the company for right up until through the 50s.
This really was the first, one of the first fins, wasn't it? It was the start of the fins that we saw in the later 50s.
It's the signature fin. It's defined fins.
Good.
Well, we're going to hear more from Rick in just a moment, but in the meantime, what we'd like to do is show you the ways we have of saying thanks. So you're going to take a look at this videotape, and we'll tell you all about the great CD set we have to offer you. Go to your phone, call, and become a member.
When you join us with your pledge during Classic American Cars of Cuba at the $75 level, we will say thank you with the VHS of the program, along with bonus footage you won't see in the broadcast. Join us with a $200 pledge, and you will receive as a thank you gift this 4-CD set, Hot Rods and Custom Classics, Cruisin' Songs and Highway Hits. This 87-track collection spans 1946 to 98 and includes rarities and sound bites from vintage drive-in movies, TV, and radio. Receive both the VHS of the program and the 4-CD box set with your membership at the $225 level. Join us with a $250 pledge and choose one of these collectible scaled-modeled Franklin Mint cars. Made of die-cast metal, these were 3 of the hottest cars of the 1950s. You have your choice of this 1953 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, this 1958 Edsel Citation convertible, or this 1955 Chevy Bel Air sedan. Remember, public television depends on your support, and that support makes programs like this possible. Thank you.
You know, Laura, this was a really expensive program to do. If you can imagine sending your crew into Cuba, and I'm worried about them a lot down there, too. And it takes money to produce good television. If you liked it, if you appreciate it, call that telephone number on your screen right there and get one of these wonderful thank you gifts that we've been telling you about. Don't forget that tape. You cannot get that tape anywhere else.
Absolutely, and this is such a great gift idea for a car buff in your family because they really get a look at these cars in top shape. Where here, you need to go to a car show to see these, but here you will have on video these beautiful cars. They are just really heirlooms in Cuba. And you will also have extra footage on that tape, plenty of cars that you didn't even see. And it's so important that you do call and make that pledge of support. It's not just about cars, it's about the innovation that only public television can take advantage of, that they can go in and make a creative program like this. And the CD set that we have for you at the $200 level is phenomenal. There are 4 CDs in there, a 64-page booklet, and you are going to hear all the music that you heard in the program, plus more. There are 87 songs in this CD set, Terrell, plus the Fuzzy Diamond.